welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a fun one. So I'm going to be reacting to your guys' beauty unpopular opinions, your unpopular beauty opinions. I've been seeing this video go around and it looks like a lot of fun, and I've been learning some interesting things about some of you guys through other people's videos and like what kind of irritates people, and it's kind of fun to see. So I did ask you guys on YouTube as well as Instagram to go ahead and tell me some of your guys' unpopular makeup opinions, and I'm gonna go ahead and react to them. So I'm excited to see what you guys had to say. So why don't we go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm gonna first start with YouTube. So I just asked in the community tab for your guys' unpopular beauty opinions, and I will go ahead and start to read some of them now. So the first one, it says, I like highlighter and I'm in my 30s. I also like to wear colorful looks. I do not like cake face. I don't care what looks good on camera. It does not look good in person. Okay. So there's like a few things to put on here. So she likes highlighter, even knowing she's in her 30s. I feel like I'm gonna like highlighter well into my 30s, my 40s. I just feel like it adds such a shine to the face. So I agree with you there. And then colorful looks as well. I've always been someone to love colorful looks. Obviously my eyes today look a little crazy, but I definitely do love colorful looks as well. And as far as like cake face, I feel like I can be one of those people sometimes where I feel like on camera things look better than they do in person, and I'll look on camera and I'll be like, oh, this looks great, and then I look in a mirror and I'm like, oh my god. So I get what you're definitely saying, that in real life sometimes it doesn't look so hot. So I can agree with you there. Rachel says that she likes the fluffy brow look. I did see quite a few of you guys on here saying you don't like the fluffy brow look, so it's kind of like an unpopular opinion both ways. I love a good fluffy brow. I don't feel like on me it looks the best. I think like a little bit of something looks okay, but a full-on like fluffy brow on me personally, I don't think looks great, but I see it on so many people and I like wish I had their brows because I think it looks good on so many different people. So Destiny says concealer before foundation. So I can get where that would be a little bit like, what are they doing? Unless if you were talking about color correcting. So I totally get color correcting obviously before your foundation, but concealer before the foundation, I feel like I don't see people do that too often. Like maybe I'm just watching the wrong people, but I get where that could be something that is kind of like, why are they doing that? Also, this is from Molly, and she says, colorful eyeshadow palettes are ridiculous. Most people only wear colorful eyeshadow looks for Instagram, YouTube, and festivals. I still get excited over neutral palettes that are boring releases. I don't think they're boring. So for myself personally, I have been wearing colorful eyeshadow looks like well before I was on YouTube or Instagram or anything like that. I always was someone to rock like a blue eyeshadow. I always had like silver on my lid. Like I liked intense eyeshadows. So for me personally, that's just what I liked. I feel like my hair is looking crazy today. So I've always been someone to love a good colorful palette, but I do know that so many people don't love that and they can't wear that every single day. I know I used to get in trouble at my job prior for wearing too crazy of makeup. They were like, okay, you need to tone it down on the eyeshadow. I still never did. I kept, doing my eye looks, but I definitely get where you're coming from with that, and I think a lot of people can agree with you that they like neutral palettes and they don't find them boring at all. So this next one says, I love and appreciate all artistry, and these are just opinions. So obviously all of these are just opinions, no hate over here. So it says, highlight all over looks like sweat. There are too many people use too much concealer. Full coverage isn't always necessary. Cussing on your channel is okay. So she said she had to add the cussing at the end because people always get mad at her for cussing. So I will agree with you that cussing is okay on your channel if that's what you're gonna do. Me personally, I don't really do it too much in like real life outside of YouTube, so I feel like I don't find it necessary to do it in my videos. I'm not gonna say I never cuss, and I probably have on my channel before, but I don't go out of my way to do that, if you know what I mean. But if that's something that's in your personality, it's something that you regularly talk, I'm all fine with it. Like, be yourself on YouTube for sure. And then highlight all over looks like sweat. I could see where you could say that because I feel like it can look shiny at times. I'm someone who loves it like everywhere. So I'm probably one of those people. I put it on my chin, I put it everywhere. And then full coverage isn't always necessary. I definitely agree with you there. There are days where I feel like full coverage for me personally isn't necessary every single day. And I feel like there's so many people where I see them doing like complete full matte like coverage looks. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like if you like that, then go for it. But sometimes I'm like, I feel like you could scale back a bit, and I also feel like that with myself, I do that a lot too. So Melly says you don't need the latest bronzer or eyeshadow palette if you have 17 others in your drawer that are basically unused and look exactly the same. I hear you, and I find myself guilty of this all the time, where you get sucked into these new releases and you feel like you need them, and they're laid out differently, or they have a pretty cover, and you just get sucked into it. I feel like I am a victim of that. I feel like so many people are, to where we think we need the new releases, we see pretty looks with them, but a lot of times you can create those looks with other palettes in your collection or other bronzers, things like that. I definitely agree with you there. I feel like it has a lot to do with what we're consuming, and we're just seeing all the time all of the new stuff and we want it so badly, but I agree with you that we definitely don't need it. And I feel like myself personally, I've tried to scale back on my purchases and kind of look at my collection. Obviously, I receive a lot of makeup because I do review it, but in my opinion, like, I feel like even myself kind of stepping back and being like, okay, do I have that in my collection, and not purchasing as much as I used to. Marie says, why is there so much work for eye looks? Like blending and putting a color in the crease. What's the point of highlighting your nose, and what's the point of winged eyeliner? I have a lot. So there's so much work when it comes to eye looks. I definitely agree with you that there can be some very intricate eye looks. But you don't have to do that every single time, and I feel like I don't either. Like, sometimes I just swipe a quick like bronzer in my lid and we're good to go. But I can get what you're saying, where you're watching a tutorial and there's like 20 steps to one eye look. It can seem overwhelming. Definitely is for me, because I'm not more, you know, as advanced as that. As far as highlighting the nose, I feel like I have some on right now. I do it all the time. I personally love a good nose highlight for myself. And then she also says, what is the point of eyeliner? I really don't wear eyeliner too often, and I cannot tell you guys how many comments I get saying like, why don't you wear eyeliner? Why aren't you wearing eyeliner? Which I really didn't realize I don't wear it that much until I get those comments like regularly, that I don't wear eyeliner. So I'm just someone, if I'm putting it in my waterline, then I'm gonna use it like it's gonna be like a nude color. I don't typically put black because I feel like it really just like makes my eyes look smaller. And then as far as like a winged liner, I only do that if I am like applying lashes, just because for me, I do have slightly hooded eyes. So for me, I feel like with my hooded eyes, it kind of just like closes them even more. So I feel like it's personal preference. Like, not everyone is gonna look great with a, you know, a giant wing every single day, or black eyeliner on their waterline. Like, it's not gonna look good on everyone. So I feel like it's totally okay to skip the eyeliner if you want to. I do it 90% of the time. So Christy says that full coverage foundation isn't necessary as most people think. I wish more would start with light to medium, then build it up in the areas they may need more of. I completely agree with you here. I feel like when I very first started like Instagram and YouTube, I feel like everyone was really into that like full coverage matte makeup look, and I feel like I thought that's what I needed to do. I can remember it's a Huda Beauty foundation. Like, when that first came out, I was like, I need it, and I actually ended up purchasing it, and then I wore it and I was like, this looks so bad on my skin, but so many people love it. And I feel like I just realized in like that foundation that I don't necessarily love full coverage matte foundations. They're just not for me personally. I feel like you just have to kind of work with what works for your skin, and if you do have a lot of things you're trying to cover up and you want a full face, or you just like a full face of makeup, then obviously that's fine for you. But I can understand where you mean that everybody needs a full coverage, full face all the time. And I definitely get what you mean about building it up in areas that you do need more coverage. And then Christy, this last one for YouTube, Christy says huge overdrawn lips. I like a good lip overdrawn, but I don't like, you know, like massively overdrawn where it looks like they're overdrawn. I also feel like I'm guilty of that sometimes, because I think it's one of those things you just have to learn. So I agree with you that I don't like massively large overdrawn lips, but I like a good overdrawn lip. So this one says, I don't hate the clumpier eyelash look. I agree with you, and I feel like we are probably one of the few people who actually like the look. I remember there was an Instagram video so long ago that I put out that I had like really clumpy lashes, and everyone was like, came for me hard in the comments. Like, so many mean comments were like, your mascara looks awful, like so clumpy, blah, blah, blah. And I remember thinking specifically when I posted that video how good my lashes looked, how good I felt like they looked, until everyone just came down on me. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have clumpy mascara. And I realized to just like get over it. But that was a funny thing, because I personally love a good clumpy mascara, like a clumpy not necessarily clumpy mascara, but a good clumpy lash. I think it looks cute. I mean, with certain looks, I don't do it all the time, but I do like it in certain situations. Emily says, I don't like primer. I feel like I used to be one of those people who didn't like primer either, and I didn't like it for the longest time, and I didn't see it doing a difference on my skin until I found the right primer. And then once I did find like the right primer and primers that work for me and don't work for me, I feel like they really do make a difference in the way my makeup applies, the way it looks. So I have to disagree with you on there, but I can understand why it's not necessarily for you in your steps. I feel like everyone has different makeup routines and different steps that they want to do. The next one says, honestly, the whole soap brow thing isn't my favorite. So again, there's quite a few in here saying that they don't like the soap brow. And this one here says they don't like doing my eyebrows. Hello, me right here. Eyebrows are my least favorite thing in my routine. I hate doing my eyebrows. I wish that I didn't ever start doing them, because I feel like once you start doing them, you have to do them. But I didn't do them for so long, and I miss those days because I can't go anywhere. If I have, I don't want to say I can't go anywhere without eyebrows on, because that's not true. Anytime, 90% of the time I feel like I leave the house, I don't have any makeup on whatsoever. But if I have any makeup on my face whatsoever, whether it's just mascara or anything, I have to put brows on. I feel like I don't look complete without them, unless if I have no makeup, then I'm just kind of like whatever. But I wish that I didn't have that feeling and I could just rock my natural brows all the time. This next one says, applying eyeliner while you stretch your eyelids. I know that's a lot of like people's pet peeves, is like when you're applying eyeliner, you'll pull your eye back taut and then apply it. I personally don't do that, but I could see where that could irritate you, and I know that it's like bad and it causes like lines and stuff on your eyes. So let's see what else we have in here. There's a lot about highlighter, people saying they don't like highlighter, it's overrated or too much highlighter. There's a lot of that on here. I also seen quite a few things saying Huda Beauty products are overrated. I was interested to see that because there's quite a few of these on here, and I feel like I like a lot of Huda Beauty's products. I do think they're obviously a little bit more pricey, but I do think she has a lot of really good products. But I also think there are some misses from the brand as well. I talked about the foundation I'm not a fan of. There's been a few products, the new eyeliner I just tried out, I didn't really love. So, I mean, every brand has hits and misses, but I wouldn't say the full brand is overrated in my opinion. But I could get where you could see it, where you could think that, because obviously her prices are a little bit higher, and I know she's very much overhyped on like Instagram and stuff like that. This one says that cheap eyeshadow is sometimes better. I can agree with you. Today I have on my face this palette right here from Profusion, and I really like this one. So this one's on my eyes. It's a $10 palette, and I feel like it blended just as nice as the other shadows that I use. I definitely agree with you where cheap makeup can definitely be just as good as high ends. This next one says, from Sophie, setting spray doesn't do anything. I have to disagree with you, because I feel like if you found the right setting spray, then it definitely does do something. I know my Morphe setting mist really locks in my makeup, and it also helps to kind of melt my makeup into my skin. So I do think it does something for me personally, but maybe for you it doesn't. I don't think it's necessary in every single step and in every single routine, and I also don't think that it's always necessary every single day, you know? Like if you're not you know, going to be out a long period of time, or you're just applying makeup for fun, things like that, so then obviously you don't need to be applying setting spray, but I do think it does a good job of melting the makeup into your skin depending on what setting spray you're using. This one says you do not have to wear, and then a bunch of numbers, products to get your great look. I agree. I feel like you can get an easy look, a nice look with only using a few products or whatever you have in your collection. I definitely agree with you there. You don't have to do a full face of 20 steps every single time. You can even get a full face with just using like 5 products, or even less if you don't want a full face either. You can definitely come up with a great look with just using a couple of products. This one says doing eye makeup before your full face. Not just you, but anyone, I can't get behind it. I feel like I personally can kind of agree with you, where I feel like I didn't understand it until I did it. So there are certain times where I do my eyes first, and there are certain times where I do my eyes last, or not last, but like mid-routine. It kind of just depends on the mood I'm in, honestly, the look I'm doing. Anytime I'm working with like glitters or darker colors, I try to do my eyes first just to avoid like fallout, but I don't always do it. So I know that is a pet peeve for some people, where, you know, they think that your eyes should be at the end of your makeup look or mid makeup look, however you're doing it. but I feel like there are exceptions to why people do their eyes first. So there are quite a few more on here that I could go ahead and do, but I think I'm gonna end it with that one. This was really fun to go through and see your guys' opinions, your unpopular opinions. If you want to check out my pinned comment down below, I'll leave you guys some of my unpopular opinions that I have. You guys can check that out. Let me know if you want to see me do another one of these. There's a ton more questions I could answer, so let me know down in the comment section. Also comment down below your unpopular beauty opinions, because I'd love to know what you think about the community, or things that bug you in people's routines, or things that you don't like doing that other people like doing, or vice versa. Let me know down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, friends.